financing your next billion gain insights into successful engagements with venture capitalists and investors. Get ahead of industry trends, hear from industry leaders, influencers, founders, policymakers, and governments.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for rejoining us again. I'm Yvonne Gamble, your host at the UN CSW 66. And as you know, this is our 66th convening here in 2022. Yes, it has been 66 years that the United Nations has been convening the status of women. And what we do is we listen to the voices of women across the world, and we find out, what's going on in their world, what is happening with them. This year, our theme is on climate change. And as you know, that is item number, that is one of our goals, number 13. And we're trying to do as much as we can to decrease that footprint, down to hopefully no more than 2% greenhouse gases by 2030. So that is still our goal. I am the CEO of Sanpete Financial Group, and we're a venture capital firm. And I'm also the co-founder of Women Leading Change Now, who brings this to you every year. Today, I have with me a treat for you. And I say she is a treat because she is a gemstone. And in that, she actually is the head over Authentic Sacred Design. But I'm not going to give away any of her trade secrets. I'm going to bring up for you Ann Metcalf, and she's going to tell you a little bit about herself and a lot about her take on our health, climate change, and back to the garden. So let me bring Ann on board, and then we will actually get a taste of all that she has to bring to us. Ann, so nice to have you here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Yvonne. It's such an honor for me to be here with this program that you've got. I'm just so excited. And a little bit about me, I'm still teaching kindergarten to grade 7 as a substitute teacher. So I go into different classes all the time, and I love it. I taught schoolyard gardening for almost 15 years, and that is becoming my new passion. In the past 2 years, I've been learning about gut health, and that's why I call myself a gut health advocate. 22 years ago, I had sarcoidosis, which was an autoimmune disorder, and I treated that by eating raw food for over a year. And my body healed itself. So that's why I know that when we eat healthy food, our body has that beautiful divine design that can heal itself. So, 2 years of just diving deep into so much fascinating information that I didn't know. And I'm just excited to be able to share that with our listeners.
Well, I am so happy to have you do that. Before we go into your actual topic, I did want to ask a question. You said that you, and I've heard this before, where you went and you began to eat the raw foods, and that helped you to heal. What is it about the raw food diet that really does, it seems to heal and heal quickly?
Well, it took me about a year of eating raw food, and what I realized now was that it was all plant-based.
Okay.
It wasn't vegan, sort of using those sort of headings, but it was a vegetarian. So it was lots of greens. I had tons and tons of greens and papaya, and I was gifted a beautiful human being who knew how to create incredible meals with raw food. I don't do that anymore. I'm now following an Ayurvedic way of it's a philosophy and it's a way of living and a way of eating, and their belief is they cook most of the food for our easy digestion. So my Ayurvedic coach said, you must have a strong constitution to have spent, I spent a few years on the raw food diet, because her Ayurvedic understanding is that cooked food is more easily digestible, and that's a 5,000-year-old practice. So that's what I'm encompassing more nowadays.
Okay, because that's interesting. When we think about, like you said, that's an easier digestion with the cooked foods. But does that take us away from what the body systems are there to do? Considering, I guess the reason I'm asking the question in this manner, and that is considering that stoves and cooked. I know fire is out there, but the whole cooking is not really a design of nature. That's more or less a invention of man. So my question would be, then the design of our bodies, it would appear, would have been to have ingested uncooked.
Yeah, and that's a good question. And I think that's part of this, I don't want to say polarity, but you've got the people who eat raw, and then the vegan, vegetarian, omnivore, and what did our ancestors eat? And initially, it probably was a lot of uncooked food. And I suppose we probably didn't live as long either. There was other challenges.
Yeah.
We didn't live as long, and now we are living longer. And I mean, one of the arguments with the raw food versus the cooked food is the nutrients and the vitamins and the minerals. And I think our digestive systems, I mean, it's all about the gut microbiome and what are we feeding it, so that it can thrive, because without a healthy microbiome, we're not healthy. And
Correct.
I think science is helping demonstrate the immense capacity of our body, because now I think recent research is showing that a lot of our diseases are caused by the inflammation in the gut. And a lot of the Ayurvedic understanding of cooking the food, but also adding spices. And adding spices to the food assists with our digestion. And maybe that's part of the answer to what you were asking.
Okay, so it's all of those things have to go in together. That's why the spices, really are there, because that's a part of it. Because what we term as just simply a spice could have been considered, a medicine. Well, in many instances, it was. Most of what we just take as a turmeric, for instance, we just take that as a standard spice. And turmeric actually was a medication, that was used. That's how it was termed, and now we call it a spice. So yes, I think I get that.
Yeah.
Well, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you talk to us more about our health, climate change, and getting back to the garden, because it looks like
Okay.
that's where we're heading. That's where we need to get back to.
Awesome. And we do. We need to get back to the garden for our health in many different ways. So our gut buddies are this whole gut microbiome within our digestive system, and they serve us so beautifully. We've got viruses and bacteria and a little bit of fungus and different things within our gut. And then when we eat whole, healthy food, our gut buddies, which is what I call them, are happy. And when they are happy, you don't have the inflammation, and you've got this healthy body where we can thrive and live long. And so that's part of that's what I've been interested in the last couple of years. And when you asked me to sort of speak on this about climate change, I'm going, whoa, what do gut buddies have to do with climate change? And so that led me down another rabbit hole of doing more research and looking at, okay, so we are consumers. We make choices on what we feed ourselves, what we put on our bodies with our clothes, and what we purchase at the store. And what, and especially women, what are we putting on our body with lotions and creams and shampoos and all those kinds of things? And certainly in Canada and probably the United States, more than say other countries, when we go shopping for food, we're looking for that perfect apple, that perfect potato. And we don't want apples with scabs on them. And we don't want misshaped vegetables. We want them perfect. Well, what happens to the imperfect food? A lot of that gets thrown out, it gets wasted. And so there's that element of our expectation and what happens with food. And then with clothing, if women knew the damage to the waterways and the air because of the production of the clothing, they might change their minds, because we don't have enough knowledge. And I think through education, especially for women, because I don't know, not all societies, of course,